It is a very big day in the VR gaming world. There is a lot of stuff going on today. Obviously, Transference is the big deal of the day, but we have other games as well. Blind is currently available. Honor and Duty, the D-Day open beta, that is available as well. Unearthing Mars 2, of course, is available. And Downward Spiral Aura Station, forgetting about that. Okay, Downward Spiral Aura Station, that is coming today as well. Just a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is going on. Plus, we also have release dates. Knuckles Evaluation version number 3. Is that what EV3 means? Yes, Knuckles, the version 3 has been released to developers. A lot of people believe that that could signify within about 4 to 5 months later, maybe actual retail action for the Knuckles controllers. That would be super exciting, of course. No question about it. Phil Yarn says, I consider In Death a horror game in VR. And you know what? There is some major in-depth news, ladies and gentlemen. The major in-depth news, and let me throw on an in-depth trailer if we're going to go ahead and get into that. So here is the major in-depth news. Now, we do have the Paradise Lost update that is coming to in-depth. And in-depth, I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. In-depth is a gamer's game. This is a real gamer's game. If you like playability, if you like mechanics, that is what In Death is all about. And on October 2nd, this game is having a major update to the game. And the price, it's coming out of early access and all of that. And the price, I believe it's coming out of early access, right? And the price is jumping to $30. So the price is going up, ladies and gentlemen, on In Death. Price is headed upwards, not downwards. So if you have any kind of interest in Death, you want to grab it now before that price jumps up to 30 bones. And I really believe it is a gamer's game through and through. I love In Death. It's weird. You know what's so weird to me about this game is, you know, Steve and Gary and Chris on VR Roundtable, they're not into In Death. They're not into In Death, and I don't understand it. My only thought process with Gary and Steve is, and Chris as well. I mean, Chris doesn't play a lot of games that the rest of us plays. Chris is really into the Oculus Go and playing it with his buddies. But I'm super amazed by Steve and Gary not playing In Death hardly at all. And I think it's just they haven't given it enough time. They haven't realized where the brilliance of this game is, because, man, is it a gamer's game. Phil Yarn says, In Death is awesome, but scary as hell. Well, it is scary when you turn around and bam, there's like some type of ghoul or creature that is right in your face. And even these like Crusader Knight guys that come running at you, and they do that jump up in the air and they swing their battle axe or whatever the hell it is at you. Here's one of these Crusaders, yeah, right here. Sometimes these guys, I mean, they get up right up in your face, and in VR, you're buying into the experience, and they really feel like they're occupying space, and you will get startled. Also, they have these new enemies that kind of float at you. I mean, look at that, winged creatures and stuff. So October 2nd is going to be a banger, because we have this major update for In Death, but we also have, as you guys well know, Astro Bot is October 2nd as well. And yesterday we found out Twilight Path by Charm Games, developer of Form, that is October 2nd as well. So October 2nd really turning into a banger. T-Dub says, now I wish I picked up In Death when it was on sale. And, you know, absolutely. Now, it is September 18th. We've got a while until October 2nd. What if In Death were to go on a very short sale one of these days prior to that? It would be a really great time to buy it. A lot of people might jump on it. I'm a huge fan of In Death. And hearing all this news and watching this trailer, I need to get back into In Death. Astro Bot Rescue Mission, that is an October 2nd release. And I gotta tell you, man, every time, like when I look at how colorful and bright and cheerful this game is, and just watch the game footage, I don't care what these people are talking about. I'm just talking about this magical Mario world. Color, you know, color. Sunshine, blue skies, white puffy clouds. A lot of color, a Mario world in VR. If you guys never played the Playroom VR on PlayStation VR, and if you never played Robots Rescue, you don't know what I'm talking about. You really have no idea what I'm talking about. Now, if you've played Lucky's Tale, if you've played Moss, if you've played Chronos and Edge of Nowhere, and you've played Bound, and you've played a number of third-person VR games that were very impressive, you know what I'm talking about. But this is Mario, man. This is like a Mario game. We don't have Nintendo. We don't have Nintendo in VR, but Japan Studio is like Nintendo designers that happen to be working for Sony, and this is their Mario, and that's what Astro Bot is all about. And for me, October 2nd is going to be kind of like Christmas morning for me, because just a happy, fun, beautiful platformer to get into. I am going to really be into this. But I got to admit, folks, see, I know a lot of people out there, you might not really be into platformers. Maybe even when you were like a flat gamer, like you were never really into platformers, so you're just not even tripping off Astro Bot. But I have to admit, platformer games have always been one of my favorite genres, going back to the days of the old Nintendo, going back to the Sega Genesis, the Sonic games, going back to Super Nintendo and all the great games on that, Mario 64, and then, you know, I mean, as platformers went 3D, and we had stuff like Gex and stuff like Mario 64, all these different games that some of the Gex games, like Gex Enter the Gecko on PlayStation 1. Does anybody remember that game where you're going through like haunted houses and all that stuff? So I got into 3D platformers on regular Pancake Gaming, and I'm still into them in VR as well. So absolutely super excited for Astro Bot. This is October 2nd. That's why I was saying it about Charm Games. I don't know, Twilight Path on October 2nd, bad timing for me, bad timing, because I'm going to be in Astro Bot, man. And oh, just look at that beach, the water and everything. And then your controller. See, the really cool thing about what Japan Studio did, they were the first studio that brought your controller in the game, not Polyarc. Polyarc saw what they did and they expanded on it. But Japan Studio was the first one to like think, oh, you can put your controller into the game because you have a tracked controller. That's one of the things that when we start thinking about Oculus CV2, hopefully Oculus will consider the idea of having a specialized regular controller that is also tracked, because I think a tracked controller does work out nice. I think that's one of the advantages PlayStation VR actually has over PC VR. It's the only one that has a tracked controller that you can put your controller in the game. Your controller can be tracked. Your controller can interact in the game, which puts you in the game more. So that is really cool. That is Astro Bot. That's October 2nd. Okay, now let's go ahead and take care of some news that we're dealing with here. I'm going to switch over to this web browser window. This is incredible technology, ladies and gentlemen. I am able to look at web browsers. Oh my goodness. And then also have video footage of me in the corner. Truly incredible. So yeah, here's what we were talking about yesterday. Honor and Duty D-Day Open Beta. It is free. So all of you with your PlayStation VRs, dust them off. Blow that dust off of your PSVR. No, you've been playing Firewall 0 hours, so it's not very dusty. But fire up your old PSVR and download Honor and Duty D-Day Open Beta. I know I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it later today. I will get a look-see at this game. Check it out. Looking forward to that. So that is in the news there. PlayStation blog, Creed, Rise to Glory. Did you guys hear about this? Creed is getting a player versus player mode. So you'll actually be able to go toe-to-toe, I'm guessing, with another VR player So it is turning into the ultimate potential exercise game. And remember, guys, this is out next Tuesday. This is a week from now. Creed Rise to Glory. And you know what's going to be super exciting about this month of September? What game is going to claim the throne for September? Is it going to be Windlands 2? Is it going to be Transference? What is it? Creed, some people think Creed is in the mix, and they're adding the PvP mode, so that is pretty freaking cool. And I think I had, oh yeah, another little bit of news here, a PSVR MOBA, the PSVR MOBA Dark Eclipse. Remember, a lot of people got a key for this or a code for this or something in their emails. This is launching on September 25th, which is the same day as Creed, by the way. I believe it's a week from today, next Tuesday, right? So, goddamn, just an onslaught of VR gaming. Paradise Decay, thank your lucky stars. Thank your lucky stars that you are not also covering a ton of PSVR games, because I don't know when you would sleep. You would pretty much need to stay awake 24/7. Today is the release of Blind, so let me get into that. And so I have been playing Blind for the last couple of days, and I'm enjoying. Actually, you know what? Let me see. What is the price of Blind? Before I start talking about Blind, I don't know what the actual price of it is. So hold on one second. Blind VR Steam. Okay, so live and direct. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so the price of Blind is $25, but there is a special promotion. You can get it for 20 bones right now. So it is $19.99. It is 20% off. This lasts until September 25th, which is next Tuesday. So I've been playing Blind, and here's what I got to say about it. If you guys have seen Stifled, and you might even remember way before I actually played Stifled and I saw footage of Stifled, I thought, oh my God, Stifled looks so freaking cool. What a great idea this is to like use sound to be able to see things, and what a great implementation of what virtual reality is capable of. And it's such a great idea. I thought Stifled, I just thought the idea behind it was really, really cool. But when I finally actually got my hands on Stifled, and it's not a terrible game, it's a decent game, it does its own things, but basically my opinion of Stifled was it didn't take advantage of it. You know what I mean? It's like Stifled had a great concept, but I don't know that the execution was done brilliantly. Still a decent game, not horrible, has its good, has its bads. But Blind, this is a legit game, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that have not been, you haven't been following Blind, you don't know what this game Blind is. It's being developed by Tiny Bull Studios, which I believe is an Italian developer, and it's being published by Fellow Traveler. And this game has legit production values. The other thing that this game has is, remember Torn? We all just played Torn, right? Not too long ago. This has the kind of production values that Torn has. This reminds me actually quite a bit of Torn. It obviously reminds me of Stifled from the visual stylings, but the graphics are a lot better, in my opinion, than Stifled. And one of the things that you might worry about when you see a game that looks like this with this kind of graphics, and knowing like God rays and everything are such a problem with our current day headsets. If you were playing this on an Oculus Go, the God rays wouldn't be as bad. But we're playing this on Rifts. We're playing this on HTC Vives. We're playing this on PlayStation VR as well. And the worry was, you go with this kind of black and white design, is the God rays, is the glare, is it really going to be irritating? And I got to say, I don't know what Tiny Bull Studios is doing here, but the clarity, everything works very well. It reminds me a little bit of Wilson's Heart as well. Remember, Wilson's Heart, of course, had the black and white aesthetic, a lot of great voice work. Hybrid Energy says, is this a PlayStation VR exclusive? No, the trailer, we happen to have a PlayStation VR trailer, but no, this is available everywhere. This is on Oculus Store today. It is on Steam today. It's on PlayStation VR today. I'm not sure that it's 20 bucks everywhere. I'm assuming it is. I do have it here on Steam, and it is 20 bucks. Let me see. Blind VR Oculus. Let's see if it's 20 bucks on Oculus as well. Yeah, right now, let me click on this. Yeah, well, no, actually, so trip on this, guys. Blind here, $24.99. $24.99 on Oculus, but on Steam you can get it for $19.99. Now, there was a pre-order for Blind where you could get it for $19.99, but I guess if you're buying Blind right now for your Rift, you might want to grab the Steam version. Although the native Oculus version might run a tiny bit better. I'm not sure if the Steam version has native Oculus SDK support where it'll run a little, maybe slightly better. I've noticed, see, with my low-end PC, I've noticed that games that are running natively on Oculus tend to run a little bit better. And Noel DBZ2, he is checking in and he's saying it is 20 bucks on PSVR. So that's kind of weird. This Oculus pricing thing is kind of weird. I wonder, though, if you actually went through the process of buying Blind on Oculus, maybe before you actually finally pay for it, maybe it drops it down to 20 bucks. I don't know. That's kind of interesting that it would be 20 on PSVR and 20 on Steam. But this is a high-quality game. Now, it is not without its faults. If I'm talking positives, I'm talking about the voice acting, the production value, the sound. The sound design is really good in this game. You pick up a lot of things and you drop them or you throw them or you're moving them around, and there are a lot of samples, a lot of distinct sounds from every little thing that you're touching, which is very impressive to me. Tiny Bull Studios, whoever did their sound design, much respect for that. But basically, you do get a cane, and the cane is cool because you just tap it, and the world lights up, and so you're exploring this dark world. You're tapping the cane. The other really cool thing about the cane is if you tap a table, if you tap a chandelier, it all works. Like the cane does not go through the chandelier. The cane doesn't go through the table. There's good collision detection. You have these little hologram scenes that are playing themselves out occasionally. Basically, the bottom line that I'm saying here is I'm not super far into this game, but I've seen enough to let me know that this is absolutely worth 20 bucks. But again, I would choose Windlands 2 if it was up to me. Like, do I put 20 bucks towards this or do I put 30 bucks towards Windlands 2? I put it towards Windlands 2, but this is in the mix and I haven't seen Transference, so I got to wait and see. Crunchy says she's in purgatory like in Lost. That is a very good possibility as well. That is absolutely a possibility. Maybe she died and this is like Jacob's Ladder. It's basically her journey through the afterlife. That could be part of it too. So, I mean, minor spoilers, I guess, but when you're into this, when you're in the beginning of this game, you find all this out immediately. So I don't know that it's like super crazy. I Am Rhett says, just picked this up since I've already picked up Windlands 2. Great games in September. We're just blessed. We've got good games. Controller Brain, I'm doing it for you, buddy. Controller Brain, it's all about you, man. It's not about me, man. It's about you, man. And an hour show is too long, so I will deliver upon thee. So anyway, guys, I'll see everybody tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time. That is the Bat time. That is the Bat channel. Hopefully, I'll have some thoughts on Transference, maybe some additional thoughts on Blind. I continue to play Windlands 2. Such a beautiful game. Such a masterful game. Windlands 2, I'm in love with that game right now. I really am. But Blind is pretty darn good. All right, folks, I will see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy. Later.